Do you want to know the number one skill that can make or break your career in 2025? No, it's not coding. It's not networking. It's emotional intelligence. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you how to leverage emotional intelligence to skyrocket your career to success. Hey guys, welcome back again to Zini's Corner. It's me, your girl, your host, Zini. So today we're going to be talking about emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is your ability to manage your emotions and that of others. Emotional intelligence is made up of five key elements. Number one is self-awareness. Number two Number two is self-regulation. Number three is motivation. Number four is empathy. And number five is social skills. If you're able to master even at least three of these key components, you will definitely stand out in your workplace. So you might currently be wondering, so why does EQ matter for career success? So studies have shown that 90% of top performers have very high EQ. I mean, think about it. Technical skills can get you hired, but a good EQ, that's emotional intelligence, will get you promoted. Here is how. It helps you build trust with colleagues. It helps you lead teams effectively, be a team leader, be a manager. It helps you lead people effectively. And then it helps you to also manage, or rather know how to handle stress and change. Here, people with high emotional intelligence, or even at least average EQ, they are very good at managing stress and change. And then lastly, it helps you communicate like a pro. Nothing helps you in the workplace as effective communication. And this could be effective verbal or written communication. With a good emotional intelligence, you know when to communicate and how to communicate. For example, let me give you an example. Something is happening in the office, maybe there is a chaos or a colleague is being scolded. With a good IQ, you would know that that would not be the best time to maybe say something like, for example, this thing, we have an upcoming tax, or oh, you haven't finished doing this tax I sent to you. That would make you look like an absolute witch. Pardon my language. Like, because really, why are you choosing the very minute or the very time that someone is being scolded to let them know in front of whoever is scolding them that they haven't finished a tax that you sent to them? Does that make sense? Now, someone with a good emotional intelligence will know that that is not the best time to convey that message. You might think you're communicating, but is that the most effective time to do that? No. So this is how emotional intelligence helps you communicate like a pro. So now let's talk about, how do you build your emotional intelligence? That's your EQ. Here are five practical ways that you can improve your EQ. Number one is, you can practice self-awareness. You practice self-awareness by journaling, writing down emotional, your emotions daily. Some people have like journals, they write things down. Journaling is a good way to practice, to express yourself, to practice self-awareness. Number two, you can always pause before reacting. This is very important. Ask yourself rather, this thing I'm about to react to now, is it necessary? Can I wait? Sometimes it's okay to count to 10 before you react. I know sometimes bosses or colleagues could be very annoying, and I mean very annoying. But before you react, ask yourself, is it necessary? Do I have to say something now? Can I wait? Can this response wait and I'll give it later? By so doing, this eliminates, things like reacting too quickly before thinking to situations, that can put you in scenarios where you're reacting with anger or you're overreacting. And sometimes, the office spaces can be a little bit political, and that might not be the best reaction to, get you in the good books in certain situations. So pausing before reacting is a good way to develop your EQ. Another great way would be to develop empathy, especially for leaders. If you're someone who is leading a team, not just even someone who is leading a team, working with people, develop empathy. Ask yourself before you do something, just have an inner retrospective and ask yourself, why? Is this okay? For example, things like sending work or things after working hours. You sometimes see, especially when it's not necessary, you sometimes see people invading people's personal or private time with work. That is not a good way to be an emotionally intelligent person. So practice empathy before you assign undue or irresponsible deadlines. Ask yourself, is this attainable? Um is this doable? I mean, I don't get me wrong, there's a difference between that and allowing people be being lenient or not letting people slack at work. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But balancing, respecting that people are humans and people have lives outside work is a good way to have empathy. And then the next one would be improving your communication. I cannot even say this too much. Improving your communication, especially verbal, written, you know, communicating professionally is a good sign that someone has a very high IQ, or at least a good IQ, right? Communicating when you should communicate, how you should communicate, and where you should be communicating. These are very important. Effective communication. And then lastly, the last but not the least, sending feedback. Sending and receiving feedback effectively. When something happens, give feedback like a pro. When someone gives you feedback, pay attention to listening. And also, in addition to effective communication, one of the key tips to effective communication is active listening. We should always be in this habit of listening more and talking less. And this is not to say do not talk, but when someone is communicating with you, make eye contact, listen to the person. That way, you understand what the person is saying before you respond. There's this saying that a lot of people talk to respond. A lot of people just respond to respond, not responding to communicate. What this simply means is that people sometimes you say something to someone and they've not properly digested what you've told them and they're already responding. And you can see that with people responding in an off way, off topic. That's what they call off topic. People speaking off topic from the context of what you've just told them. So such kind of communication is not effective. And then back to sending feedback. Be someone who receives feedback lightly. Be someone who gives feedback effective and not just feedback, but feedback that resonates, feedback that are usable. Don't give feedbacks that do not mean anything to the person you're giving the feedback to. Don't give feedback that are callous. Some feedbacks sound like the person is who is giving you the feedback is taking it personal. No, those are not effective kind of feedbacks. And then additionally, there are, other ways to build your emotional intelligence. You can do things like reading books on mindfulness, taking courses on emotional intelligence, take courses on leadership, better yourself to be a good leader. I find that people who know how to lead, who are good leaders, or rather good leaders make good leaders have very good EQ. So, you can take courses on leadership, practice mindfulness, and these will in turn better your EQ. Emotional intelligence is not just a soft skill, it's a power skill that can refine your career. Like I mentioned earlier, it can help you get that promotion that you need. People like good people, and to be honest, people with good EQ often come across in the workspace as good people, not just people who have the skills, because the hard skills, yes, will do the job, but a lot of times people like people who they can relate to. So emotional intelligence is not just a soft skill, it's a powered skill that if you inculcate into your work life, you can watch your career transform. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more career development tips, for more personal and career development tips. If you've enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and most importantly, let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you have any personal questions on emotional intelligence? I would love to hear it, and I would love to answer. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I will see you guys again in my next video. Bye.